Well, welcome back to the new Century Hall in Manchester. Greg Ferrin, the world champion, through to the semi-finals, but not really on his best form, and he's going to have to play better against the next two players. Who's he going to meet? It's going to be Lee Kendall of England or Bill Hoven of Northern Ireland. They're up in our next quarter-final. Let's go down now to Alan Hughes for the introductions and the start of the match.
Thank you, Jonathan. Ladies and gentlemen, first we welcome the only unseeded player left in the last stage. From Northern Ireland, will you welcome, please, Bill Hogan. And ladies and gentlemen, his opponent, the current Embassy Cup champion and the current International Masters champion. Ladies and gentlemen, from Stoke-on-Trent, will you welcome the pride of the potteries, Lee Kendall.
Our quarterfinal presents a real contrast here. We've got a very informed Bill Hoven, and that's Lee Kendall breaking off. Lee, a decided edge in experience, and certainly a big edge in experience in this event. Twice a semi-finalist here. And Lee, no stranger to the cameras and lights of the television stage either. The last couple of years, he spent time splitting duties between British 8-ball pool here, 9-ball. No stranger whatsoever to the lights and camera of Hollywood. And a promising start for the man from Stoke. The left-handed Kendall looking to provide the opposition for the reigning world champion Greg Ferrin in the semi-finals. And the way that he's starting out this match, he might not have long to wait to get there. Well, the simple 8-ball will stake Kendall to a 1-0 lead. Down it goes. And a terrific start for Lee Kendall. He leads Bill Hoven from England by 1 frame to 0. And it was all set up by the break that Kendall provided us with. That really set the stage for what was going to be a frame-winning clearance. And obviously, he settled into this match in a big hurry. And so we really don't know how well Bill Hoven can play just yet. And there's a little good luck charm on the side of Lee Kendall. So it's Bill Hoven breaking off in the second frame. A very good player, a worthy quarterfinalist here.
Open table.
But unlike Kendall, did not secure a ball off the break. So once again, Kendall to play with an open table. And certainly no player around would know these two players as well as the gentleman sat just next to me, making his appearance, his 4th annual appearance in representing his country from down under, the Australian captain Mick Delahunty. And Mick, Lee Kendall couldn't have asked for a better start to this quarterfinal.
Certainly he's playing very well, isn't he, Jim?
I've seen him over a lot of years now, and he seems to get better and better each year. He's a great player. He just doesn't seem to miss much. And, well, you'd expect him to clear up here again, wouldn't you?
He does a lot of traveling as well. I know that Lee has been to America a few times, applying his trade there.
Yeah, I know he was in Las Vegas in 1993, which was the first year of the World Championships. He went there before the World Championships, and I wasn't involved in that particular year, but I was in Las Vegas at the same time. I didn't know Lee at the time, but he's done a bit of travelling in his time, that's for sure. Great player, though.
Well, he'd like to have that one over again. This is the first opportunity we get to see Bill Hoven and the sound cueing action that he possesses. Very much in form, having won the last UK Tour event leading up to this Embassy World Championship. And in fact, as you are well aware of, Mick, very similar to last year.
Yeah, he won the UK Tour event before this world title last year, also at Wembley, and came in and made the quarterfinals last year as well as this year. So obviously his form's excellent. Along the way in this tournament, he's beaten Stacey Vine, one of the top English players, as well as Kevin Wright, a former world champion himself. So Bill's form's obviously excellent, and I'm still a bit surprised that Lee missed that ball in the middle, to tell you the truth. It's just not like him. I think it was probably a bit too easy for him. He got a little bit slack, and quite a surprise. But you wouldn't want to give Bill too many chances. He's proven how good he is in this tournament.
Well, as you were saying, he disposed of Kevin Wright, a former world champion, by 8 frames to 2. So a sound victory. And there's Kevin right there, relegated to the sidelines, as is the man to his right, Stacey Vine, both at the hands of the man at the table. And if there is an awkward ball facing Hoven right now, it's this red ball over on the left-hand side. And he's got the option of playing that into the center off the yellow, if he elects. But either way, you might expect him to get out from this particular situation.
Certainly, I expect him to go game, but, well, I expected Lee to go game before he got to the table, so strange things happen in this game, that's for sure. And there's a lot of pressure out there, as you've talked about already. The TV cameras in front of these players, and experience is a very, very important thing. And Lee's been here a lot of times, so I do expect him to win, but it should be a great match.
A valuable asset having that experience under your belt. As we said, the edge in that department to Lee Kendall. But they may have forgotten to remind Bill Hoven of that.
Certainly his form's excellent, so anything can happen when people are playing well, that's for sure. That's a great shot. And good position as well. Great shot, wasn't it?
Well, this simple 8, and Bill Hoven will have taken his first frame. Down it goes. It's a best of 17 encounter between Hoven and Lee Kendall, and we're finally poised at 1 frame apiece. Well, Lee Kendall certainly made to suffer for the bad miss. Everything turned around when Lee failed at this pot. But Bill Hoven was very quick to administer the punishment, and that pot really laid the foundation for what proved to be a clearance and putting his first frame on the board. So Kendall steps up now, eager to make amends. 1-1 the scoreline in a race to 9.
I actually think this is where Lee's most dangerous. His fantastic break. He seems to get balls consistently and seems to make them spread well. He's very good at just going game, consistently off the break. He's fantastic at it. Once again, an opportunity. Tied up black, but I'm sure he'll knock that out.
Red ball's in play.
So the red ball's the ball of choice for Lee Kendall. And you can tell it's very clear in his mind. He's developed the black, pushed it into the open slightly.
Probably a little bit unlucky. It still hasn't developed as well as he would have liked.
And both of these players, I'm sure, were in attendance when they saw Greg Farron forge through to the semifinals, so they know, should either one of them win, who they will be opposing in that semifinal. Now, has Lee Kendall left enough room for that yellow to squeak by? He hasn't covered the pocket, I don't think, as well as he would have liked.
Certainly looks like there's room there, doesn't it, Jim? They can be deceptive at times. You feel that balls will go in there and then they don't, but that one looks open. An opportunity for Bill, maybe.
Well, it certainly looks like there's room there.
30 seconds remaining.
Very highly regarded. A very well-rounded game he brings to this quarterfinal. He's got no Achilles heel.
"30 seconds remaining.
Great pot there. Yet another example. I think Bill Hoven fancies it out there right now.
He's certainly looking very calm, isn't he? He seems to be controlled in what he's doing, and well, that was a hard shot under the situation at the time. 1-all in a very, very big match for him. Played it beautifully.
Well, that one did the stutter step before dropping into the pocket. And once again, choice of yellows. Eventually, that one near the bottom right is going to have to be played. And to be fair, he's in as good a position now as he could hope to get into. So here we go. Well, that was always the danger.
He's got a little bit of luck there, I think. He's actually might have sneakedly, might be touching that black.
Another look. He tried to force that yellow into the pocket, where it might have looked like there was room.
They are very deceptive. I've had a few hits on these tables at different times and practice sessions and just tried to see what will come out and what won't, and Lee's missed again. But they can be deceptive. Balls that look like they'll go in off other balls sometimes just seem to jam and they both come out rather than the ball you're playing going in. So, but Bill's got another opportunity.
He hails from Northern Ireland, resides in England, and he's a regular on the UK tour.
Certainly didn't want that kiss, Jim. He on the red ball, he looks like he's going to have to really work hard. He looks like he's lining up the yellow into the corner pocket, so obviously he's on it.
While the yellow nearest the black is the ball that Bill Hoven's going to have to maintain position onto, so he certainly isn't going to be playing this one at any great pace.
Looks hard to stop that white, doesn't it, Jim?
He's going to have to just drop this in, pocket weight, if he's going to maintain position onto that yellow.
"30 seconds remaining."
Played it reasonably well. He's got a reasonable shot at the yellow.
A lot of interest. Certainly, both players have their share of supporters out there.
And a great shot by Bill. Excellent position on the black, easy into the middle. Go to a 2-1 lead.
He's making this look a lot easier than it was.
Yeah, he's played it very well, hasn't he?
Well, that was a pressure ball. And Bill Hoven would love to have that one over again. You can't afford misses like that, not at this level.
Like I said, he looked calm and cool, but I think underneath there's probably a few nerves tingling there, and he's just got to forget about that now. That can happen to you during a match, but if you're good enough, you can overcome that and get back on it. And I've been very impressed with him, so hopefully that's just a one-off for Bill.
30 seconds remaining.
Little surprised that Lee elected to take that one.
Certainly the ball in the middle seemed to be the ball to play, but I mean, Lee misses so little normally that you expect whatever he goes for him to pot. But once again, very surprising. Bill, this will be a real let-off for Bill. Missed an easy black. If he can pot this, it may turn everything around for him. He suddenly say, yes, I should have won it. I deserve to win it, and I'm going to pot this and really lift his spirits, I think.
Well, the second bite of the cherry proves decisive for Bill Hoven. It won't bother him about the first miss black now. He leads Lee Kendall by 2-1 in this race to 9. And welcome back here to center stage in Manchester for the 1997 Embassy World Pool Championships.
White balls it off. Lee gets a chance maybe to regain his composure.
Yes, you've got to keep that cue ball on the table. A little unfortunate there. The red clipping it in and driving it into the corner pocket. Now down to Lee Kendall to try and regain some of the lost composure. He won the opening frame. He's dropped the last two.
You'll take the Reds, I think, Jim.
30 seconds remaining.
Much more fluent cueing action delivered there.
My experience of Lee over the years is I believe he's actually England's best cueist in the team's event that we've played over the years. All the players that have played for England, he's the best looking of all their players. And when he's hitting the ball well, there's just nobody that plays the game better. But he's really struggling with himself here. He just has to get it back. And
30 seconds remaining.
Well, and the people that I've talked to pretty much in agreement that Kendall has to be considered favourite to progress here. But in order to justify that favoritism, you've got to produce a standard from which people would expect. That's not always easy.
Well, expectations are high for Lee, of course. He's semi-finalist here twice before. I'm sure he'd love to make the final.
30 seconds remaining.
And as we've both said, people do see Lee as one of the great players on the circuit, and I'm sure he'd love to win a world title. So he's probably putting himself under a bit of pressure. He's just got to overcome that and get into this match properly. Seems just to be making a little bit of hard work. The white ball seems to be travelling a little bit more than it would normally travel with him, which is always an indication of slight nerves, but I'm sure he'll be alright.
Well, you know, Lee Kendall would like nothing better than to exact revenge, as he was the one in the semi-finals that was beaten by Greg Ferrin in last year's event. And should he win this one, he will be faced in that very same situation with the opportunity, as I said, to exact that revenge. And this black down the left cushion for Lee Kendall to have completed the clearance and restore some of that flagging confidence. Looks good. It's there. Lee Kendall takes the fourth frame, in fact, and levels it up here with Bill Hoven. It's now 2 apiece in this best of 17 quarterfinal. And this wasn't a formality, this black, but went in fairly clean. I'm sure Lee Kendall relieved. This is a big match, certainly in monetary terms. These players playing for what amounts to 500 pounds. The difference, the loser guaranteed £1,000. The winner will be on £1,500, and a chance at the ultimate prize of £7,000. So Lee Kendall breaking off here in the 5th frame, looking to put that winner's check of £7,000 into his bank account.
There's that big breaking I talked about again, Jim. He's just so consistent on it, and once again he's got a real chance of going game, isn't it?
Another look at the action that Lee provides us with off the break. Controlled power.
Red ball's in play.
Well, no obvious problems here, Mick. The red nearest the left center looks more than available. I think all Lee has to do is concentrate on shot selection here.
I think you're right, Jim. I think he's just having a little bit of difficulty with his position here and there, but he's still making the shots at the moment. And this isn't hard. He should go game here, but he's just left himself over the top of that black. So maybe he'll just change his mind, play the one in the middle first. Back onto this one. And now it should be pretty easy for me. As you say, concentration is the key to this now.
Seeing the pattern as you come to the table, visualizing that pattern, how you want to attack the balls, comes very readily to players with the experience of a Lee Kendall.
Excellent shot. Up onto the red into the top corner. Easy one in the middle for the black.
Lee Kendall making short work of this frame. Interested spectator there, former world champion, the Welshman Rob McKenna, 1994 Embassy Whirlpool champion, and he's watching Lee Kendall summarily dismantle Bill Hoven here. He's won the last two frames. He now leads 3-2. Well, Lee Kendall starting to show the justified favoritism with that sort of form. And it all started with that break-off from which you alluded to, Mick. He really sets it all up very nicely with breaks like that.
Such a slightly built man. He seems to just... His timing is fantastic, and so he doesn't seem to put his body into it much. It's just great timing, isn't it?
But you notice that his eye never leaves the white, and that's the key.
Yeah.
You don't see any movement like that in snooker, but you can get away with it, certainly in 9-ball, American 9-ball, and apparently with the break-off here. Now it's down to Bill Hoven, trailing by one frame. And that's not the sort of response that he was looking for.
Second frame in a row for Bill's break with an in-off. A little bit unlucky the time before, but that one pretty well straight in the centre. Has to be careful. You can't give Lee too many first opportunities at the table.
Another look at it. That's the second time we've seen the cue ball disappear off the bed of the table when Hoven is broken off. He's going to have to correct that. Can't give the choice of balls and certainly the cue ball in hand to your opposition every time he comes to the table.
30 seconds remaining.
Red ball's in play.
Lee's just trying to get onto the red that's close to that yellow, the one that looks like they're touching. And it may be on at the top corner. If he can get on that, then this frame should be all over again.
He's got no choice now, Mick. This is the red that you're talking about.
That's it, Jim. I think he has to play it now, doesn't he? He may be on the red into the corner pocket between the two yellows. But no, I think he's looking to play the one at the top.
Big shot this one. Needs to get this.
30 seconds remaining.
I was about to say it's a great shot, but it just caught the jaws. Still, it's landed reasonably fortuitously for him. It's covered that pocket. Yellow won't go up there, so I think he expects probably to get back to the table at some stage.
Yes, from right behind this, it certainly looked in, just trickled that near bump. Enough so to keep it on the bed.
Like I said, though, a lot of work for Bill still.
Well, Bill Hoven dropped the opening frame of this quarterfinal clash. He's only ever been one frame behind at the worst. And that's the position he finds himself in right now.
Seems like he hasn't been to the table for a while, Jim, and yet he's still right in this match, isn't he? And I think we probably, well, we're not underestimating Bill, but we haven't. We've talked a lot about Lee, but Bill's certainly in this match and playing pretty well, I think.
Well, Bill Hoven plays with a John Paris snooker cue, as many top snooker professionals do.
And here's the shot's going to win him this frame if he can play it well enough. He's going to cut the yellow into the middle pocket, white to the top cushion, come down and try and knock that yellow that's safe on the side cushion out. It's an excellent shot. Has he got a result?
Well, it hasn't finished ideally. Deserved better. Great attacking pot from Bill Hoven. Now he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of a hat if he wants to continue from here.
Well, he's got a choice, hasn't he?
Great shot, that one.
Yeah, it was a great shot, wasn't it? Got a choice now. He could play the plant, the yellow into the middle, or maybe the yellow near the black into the corner pocket,
30 seconds
behind
remaining.
the three reds there. Just maybe on. But it's a fine shot. He's playing the plant. Bring the white ball back for that same yellow I was talking about.
So the yellow you're talking about, this one here, and he wants to play it at least into this corner pocket to hopefully, if not get it, cover it. And that would put him in a very strong position.
The white kissing the black here is the real worry, isn't it, Jim? I think.
Thirty seconds remaining.
It's a great shot. Still some work to be done, but he seems to be answering the challenge.
Well, Lee Kendall is seeing some of the bullets that he fired at Bill Hoven be served right back at him. Quite obvious to me that both of these players are quite capable of turning what might seem to be impossible situations with their ability. Turn them into winners.
Nice. Fantastic shot.
Case in point right there.
Certainly two great players. This is going to be a great match, I think. They seem to be getting better frame by frame and just pulling off some fantastic shots.
Well, if Bill Hoven can continue to knock balls in like that, Lee Kendall has a tiger by the tail. The simple black, down it goes. And with that black disappearing, Bill Hoven now draws level with Lee Kendall at 3 frames apiece.
Welcome back. You're watching the Embassy World Pool Championships from the New Century Hall in Manchester. We're down to the quarter-final stages of the men's competition. Let's get back to the action now with your commentator, Jim Weish.
Once again, he should go game, but he's causing himself a little bit more difficulty by the second. Each time he doesn't get on that red behind the black, it means he has to play a good positional shot at the end rather than just pot the ball.
Well, I have to agree with you, just because Lee is looking very concerned. And this is the big shot coming up now.
Yeah. I think he's fine. He'll just probably try and pot it, Jim, back and across the table with the white.
Well, that is cruel. Lee Kendall did not deserve that. And look at him stare that cue ball down.
Elbows played.
And sometimes breaks like that can turn matches.
No question, Jim. At the same time, I think we both believed he should have had rid of that yellow. Should have been gone a little bit before. Sorry, the red ball that he just potted should have been gone before he got to it, and before he finally had to play it last. And maybe the problem was caused by himself rather than a little bit of bad luck.
So what you're saying, in effect, is that the balls just didn't forgive.
Correct.
What Lee Kendall should have done earlier. He left it too late and was asking too much.
Still very unlucky and a bit disappointing for him because he had played it pretty well. Funny cushion there, Jim. Went sideways. There must be a bend in that cushion. He was certainly trying to get the white up inside that black, wasn't he? Try and get on that bottom yellow. Ooh, he had some work on that.
Well, he still didn't get enough, though. He tried to get into the black to leave that yellow on. This is a little tougher.
Second visit.
And all of a sudden, Lee's going to get another shot, I think. Mightn't be a very good one, though.
Well, that's a bit careless. If he's left Lee Kendall a path to this black, well, if Lee can get through to this, he's got a chance. He's having a look at it right now. Possibility of a cockeyed.
30 seconds remaining.
And into the middle pocket, but it isn't on because he obviously can't see it.
Yeah, well, I must admit I was thinking the same thing, Jim, but it's what we call a Marcus double in Australia. I don't know what do you call it here?
Well, we call it a cockeyed double here.
Cockeyed double. Yeah, well, that's probably exactly. Marcus is a man in Australia that only had one eye, and so you're probably a pretty good definition.
Mad Marcus.
Mad Marcus, yes. As it turned out, he didn't have the line for it, so he's whacked it off the bottom cushion and once again in trouble.
I was just dying to use that that TV pen again.
30 seconds remaining.
It's a good shot by Bill.
Very sound potter. Even though Lee Kendall just requires the 1-8 ball, and Hoven's got 4 remaining yellows. He's in a strong position right now.
And if Bill does go game, really a turning point in the match, because Lee would have expected to win this frame where the reds were lying at the start of it, and
30 seconds
to
remaining.
lose it could really, turn the match, like I said. It's a good shot, Jim. Yellow into the corner pocket, back for the one in the middle.
A little close to his work.
He's certainly, it's no longer easy. Losing the white ball back up to the top of the table. Very difficult to get on this next yellow now.
Well, I can't really see him wanting to continue with the attack from this position, Mick. Just doesn't look like there's any value in it. If he just ticked off the yellow,
remaining.
ran up table with the white, going to be leaving Lee Kendall in a very dicey position.
In fact, if he got it fine enough, he'd actually get the snooker. Well, I think he's going. He's going to send the white ball around the table, and he's using lots of right-hand side, bring it back inside. Well, that cushion didn't work like the other one earlier, did it?
No, that was asking a lot.
Yeah.
I think discretion might have been a wiser choice, given the situation there.
And certainly now he's got a choice again. Does he go for the big double, or does he just slide off and try and bring the yellow out in front of the black for a snooker again? Looks like he's playing the snooker. Don't think he's brought the yellow out far enough, Jim. I think Lee's got a shot on this black in the middle.
Well, I think he'll be relieved just be able to contact the 8-ball. But he's letting our referee Mike Regan have a look at it. So we'll know very shortly if he is snookered. And there's your answer.
Not a total snooker, so he can certainly hit it. I think I'm probably wrong. I don't know if he's got enough of it to be able to put it in the middle, but he certainly can get the white right up the other end of the table. Make it very difficult for Bill.
.30 seconds remaining.
Now then, does Bill Hoven attempt this yellow?
This is a shot in Australia because the pockets are a different cut. It's very hard to pot this ball down the rail in Australia, so the shot for any Australian in this situation would be a natural half ball off the yellow, bring the yellow back out in front of the white, hopefully the snooker again, leave the white on the bottom cushion. But I've seen so many people over here this week whack these down the rails and pot them and screw back to get on the black. I wouldn't be surprised at anything they
30
do.
seconds remaining.
He's going for it. Oh, it's a great shot. Wasn't game enough to bring the white back, but fair enough. A little bit of conservatism there.
A smattering of applause. That should really have brought the roof down, that pot.
Now what does he do, Jim?
Well, this difficult black into the right center, a fine clip, might well bring the roof down if he gets it.
Oh, big hit. White ball. Oh, it's unlucky.
Oh, didn't deserve that.
No.
That was cruel. Bill Hoven knocked in two tremendous pots, only to see them go for naught. A fine clip into the center, and where the cue ball was going to go was always up in the air. Unfortunately for Bill Hoven, it found its way to the corner pocket. Lee Kendall is now leading by 4 frames to 3.
And that's a big let-off for Lee.
Great mate. Bill Hoven to break. Australia.
I think after he didn't go game earlier, he really would have been expecting to lose the frame, and to now be 4-3 up, he'd be pretty happy, I think.
A real psychological blow for Bill Hoven to have to overcome. He's breaking off here, trailing Lee Kendall by 4 frames to 3.
Open 7.
Even though there's been a couple of mistakes, Jim, it's been a very impressive match, hasn't it? They've both played well at times. They've missed a couple, but certainly all their talents are coming out. It's great to watch.
Well, it certainly seems like both players are starting to get their feet wet in this match. Mistakes, as you said, Mick, have been at a premium, certainly as of late. Been some great potting. And how big that last frame is going to prove to be, only time will tell.
He's taking the yellows here. Don't suppose it really matters. The yellows are all on. First look at the table, I thought he'd take the reds, but like I said, I don't think it matters. They're all there. Lee Kendall's girlfriend just on screen. Looking anxious.
Always a lot more difficult when you're on the sidelines and you don't have the controls in your hand.
Under the bottom yellow, and just follow through here, get onto the yellow in the middle and an easy black into the corner. I've said that a couple of times and it hasn't finished quite that easy, Jim, so he should really finish this off. If he expects to win this match, I think he really should take his opportunities now.
Just wants to bring the cue ball off the side cushion slightly.
It's a good shot.
Well, he's made short work of this one. Much better effort from Lee Kendall. And he finds himself now 2 frames clear. Lee Kendall leads Bill Hoven by 5 frames to 3 in this best of 17 quarterfinal encounter. And Bill Hoven didn't get the ideal break off. And Lee Kendall obviously took swift and sure advantage of Hoven failing to negotiate a ball. Lee Kendall leading Bill Hoven 5 frames to 3. Certainly has to be feeling pretty good about things. That scoreline not really indicative of the way play has gone. Even though Lee has played quite well, Bill has to count himself slightly unfortunate. A couple bad errors. Well, they're not really bad errors. A couple unlucky turn of events. As we see Kendall's break off yet again. One of the few times the break hasn't been a weapon for Lee. But once a year, Manchester finds itself as the capital of the 8-ball world. And we're here again for the Embassy Whirlpool Championships, the quarter-final stages. That's Bill Hoven from Northern Ireland.
Red ball's in play.
He's 2 frames in arrears of Lee Kendall. And Nick Delahunty, certainly as I suggested, if not for a couple bad in-offs, how different the scoreline could be.
Yeah, both players have played very well, Jim, from what I've seen anyway, and there's been a few blues here and there, but they've played very well, and yeah, Bill's been a fraction unlucky, but gee, Lee's playing good as well, and here's an opportunity for Bill to maybe get a frame back straight away, and I think he really needs to win a couple in a row and get this back. First to 9 is Lee's 5, a couple more and he'd be well on the way, so very important frame for Bill. It's not a great shot he's played there. He's left himself reasonably difficult next shot. Red goes into the middle, I think, but once again, the white ball's travelling the wrong way. Black looks very well tied up there as well.
.30 seconds remaining.
It's a good shot. Once again, though, he's got a very difficult shot with the next.
Yes, it has to be the first of many if he's to salvage a winning position from this situation. But he certainly hasn't shown us any fear in vaulting to the finish line in frames. Some terrific pots.
30 seconds remaining.
No, if the chance has been there, he's normally taken it or gone very close. And as you say, he hasn't shown much fear.
Can't be accused of lacking conviction.
Trying to get this red in the middle. No, red onto the red. It's a strange shot in the situation, isn't it, Jim?
Must have been playing that in off into the middle.
Right.
Would have been asking for a lot.
And now with Lee coming to the table, like we said the whole way through, Lee's been very steady. He hasn't missed much. He's been very good, and well, I'd expect him to go game or have the situation well in hand by the time he leaves the table this time, and 6-3 lead would certainly make it very hard for Bill. Yellow into the middle, kiss into the black, open up the bad yellow, and from there, real chance of going game. It's a good shot.
Touching black.
Well, our referee, Mike Reagan, awarding touching ball. Doesn't change anything. Just awkward cueing for Lee.
I can never work that one out, Jim. They always, referees calling touching your own ball. Fair enough, because you've got to fire away. But touching the opposition's ball, you're not allowed to move it anyway. So I can't see why they call it.
Oh, they have to earn their pay.
Yeah, well, that's right. This one, he might just want to play this off the bottom yellow. The plant doesn't look on, so if he just plays it slightly off and open up those two, should make it a pretty simple out from there.
Thirty seconds remaining.
Ideally, in off the yellow. Got to be careful, though.
He knows it too. He's just making sure. It's a good shot.
And that's really opened up the frame now. And as you said, should he go on to complete the victory and with it take a 6-3 frame lead in the race to 9, a long way back for Bill Hoven.
The thing that makes it most difficult is Lee's such a talented player. It's a 3-frame lead against somebody of Lee's ability is very hard to haul back. And he's played this very well. Wasn't easy to start with. Opened up the black and the other yellow.
He seems to have the ideal sort of action for this game. He cues so sweetly, almost effortless.
It's all timing, isn't it, Jim? He's not a big man by any means, and he just seems to do everything with his arms and his concentration. It's just very good. It's just beautiful. Left-handed to boot. I don't think I've seen any left-hander play any sport that doesn't seem a little bit more natural than they seem to do things easily, that's for sure.
The black goes down. That's 3 on the spin for Lee Kendall. He now leads Bill Hoven from Northern Ireland by 6 frames to 3. He's got to start it off with a good break. Certainly doesn't have the same success rate that Lee Kendall does.
Open table.
It's an open table for Lee as he comes to survey the situation. His choice, either reds or yellows. Neither one of them ideally placed.
Needs a bit of work, Jim, but the yellows, he could choose the yellows. I think he'll probably play the red in the middle and try and knock the black and the bad red out, and then it would be pretty easy, I think.
Red ball's in play.
He's chosen to wait a shot or two before he does it, but he's got a few balls that he can do it with, I think. Red into the middle again, I think, and once again try and kick, but you could lose the white. No, he's going to play the plant.
Just making sure. Looks like they're set from our camera angle.
30 seconds remaining.
And the key to this is where the white goes. He really wants an angle on this red. It's a great shot. Angle on the red to go into that yellow and the black. So into the red and the black there.
Yes, the red, black, and yellow right here. There's what Lee is going to be trying to open up.
Now this is the shot into the black. And see what happens here. Oh, he's got half a result. The red does go into the corner pocket, but he'd love to have got a little bit. Well, no, it's not bad, is it? Black's on in the corner pocket once the red's gone.
Obviously the angle again, if he elects to just nudge it a little further into the open.
Played it well again.
Now Lee's going to come down and have a look at that red by the black, because it does pass to the bottom right corner as we look.
So you get on the red you're talking about, Jim, and then just screw back for the one up the top and black into the corner pocket. Bit too warm. It's not bad though. Just stun into it, just off the yellow. He should be on the red at the top.
Got to be careful he doesn't bump the yellow in front of the black though, Mick.
You're right, Jim, that's the key, isn't it? Black's important. Even still, the black would still be on in the corner pocket where he's playing this red. So, he's hit it pretty well. Has he potted the ball? Yeah, she's gone in. Cut into the centre pocket. Off 2 cushions, back onto the black. 1 cushion, in fact. He's played it perfectly. Gee, he's played well, hasn't he? Hasn't missed.
A convincing performance. Lee Kendall, the man from Stoke, looking to get into his 3rd World Championship semi-final. And he's looking tremendous value. He's 7-3 in front of Bill Hoven in a race to 9. This was the dodgy shot. When you're that close to the object ball, not always easy to judge. And once that went down, he had cleared the black completely. He's got to be feeling pretty good about the way things are going right now.
Well controlled white. Beautiful shot to get easy on the black. And if Greg Farron's watching this, he'd have to have some concerns because he didn't play as well as he can in his match, and he'd know he'd have to lift. That's, of course, if Lee continues in this same vein, but can't see it stopping at the moment, can you?
The number 3 seed in the tournament, Lee Kendall, breaking off in the 11th frame.
Open table.
He's won 7 of the first 10. And he's starting to impart an imposing figure in front of Bill Hoven.
Once again, a big bust. He didn't get a ball in, but if something had gone in, you would assume he would have cleaned up again, wouldn't you? He's
30 seconds
enormous
remaining.
break.
Well, there's no time like the present for Bill. He's got to start making inroads into this 4-frame deficit that he faces.
Should finish the game here. There's a little bit of difficulty in the corner pocket where there's a couple of yellows. You might have to take one, get back onto another. It's just can be a little bit confusing when there's a few balls around the same hole, but especially when the plant isn't on. Might choose to take the bottom one out now, the one closest to the pocket.
There's got to be a lot of negative thoughts going through his head right now. He knows how well Lee Kendall is playing.
He's choosing to take the ball in the middle pocket. I would have thought that might have been a connecting ball back onto these again. Well, yellow must go onto the yellow over the hole, but no, certainly it goes. which of course will open up the yellow closest to the cushion to go down.
This is an important shot right now for Hoven.
Oh.
And there you could see, I think he
play.
was a bit careless there, Mick. He could have made that an awful lot easier. He could have taken that yellow that was nearest the corner pocket before he played the one into the center. Sure, it would have clearly outlaid his plans, but he's got to take the bull by the horns now. When you're 4 frames behind a player that's playing the way that Lee Kendall is, when you get a chance to seize the initiative, you have to grab it.
Well, the way Lee's going, he's going to go game here too, Jim. You know, you can't see him missing. He's just playing so well. There we have it. Onto the red up the top corner. The only one that is a little bit difficult is the one in the corner centre pocket. He'll be straight on it right now. So.
This is starting to look like shelling peas for Lee Kendall. Those pockets on that pool table looking more like garbage cans.
You really can't blame Bill too much. It's just that Lee's played so well. I think he's put a little bit of pressure on Bill, and Bill's missed 1 or 2 recently, but Lee's been awesome. And he's be pretty happy that dropped, I think. Doesn't have to come down to this end of the table again. Just the red into the corner, the one in the middle, or vice versa.
Simple red, screwing back for the black that is also at his mercy. One of the pre-tourney favorites, justifying that. Lee Kendall from Stoke is but 1 frame away for a place in the semi-finals. 8-3 over Bill Hoven. Well, Bill Hoven had his chance, but when he missed this opportunity, Mick, you were quick to say that no surprise if Lee Kendall were to clear up, which he did, and made it look easy. Mind you, he didn't do it conventionally. Ended up getting 2 for the price of 1 there.
And that just really made it easy, didn't it? I mean, he was going to go game anyway, but it just meant he didn't have to come down the whole way down the table and back up again. So just...
Frame 12, Bill
Got to
Hoven
be
to
pretty
break.
pleased with his performance. He's not over the finish line yet. But what a tall order for Northern Ireland's Bill Hoven now. And I wonder if there was a little bit of frustration in that break-off.
Can you remember Bill getting a ball off the break in this match?
Well, there haven't been many instances. Lee Kendall has been very dominant in virtually every capacity of this match. But for me, one of the highlights is how well he's controlled the cue ball. That's really been the key to how he's compiled this big lead.
His cueing's been fantastic, hasn't it? He's just been so cool with it. He just doesn't seem to hit the jaws when he's playing shots. It's all cool, and the white ball just travels around where he wants it. He's been phenomenal tonight.
He's playing so well. You expect him, as you say, to go game at virtually every visit, no matter how difficult the choice of colors might be that he's on.
30 seconds remaining.
And that must be the scary thing for Bill, because I mean, this is very hard to go out. He's got a yellow on the side cushion, and he's decided to play the conservative way, which is, just shows his head's really working well. I think he's looked at it and said it's very, very difficult out. I'm going to pull back, and at 8-3 up, that's fantastic.
I was going to say the choice made that much easier with a 5-frame lead. Lee Kendall has won the last 5 frames from 3 apiece to surge.
Shows a lot of maturity, though,
that he
Jim.
now enjoys, Mick.
It shows a lot of maturity. we know. I'm sure you've seen it, and I certainly have. Players who get big leads tend to go. Sometimes they want to go game as quickly as they possibly can to get the match over and done with. But Lee said, "Look, it's hard. I'm going to slow down," and that is a sign of maturity, as far as I'm concerned. Because he could have tried to go game there, lost it. All of a sudden, the opposition gets one back, turns a little bit.
Twice a beaten semi-finalist. Is 1997 going to be the year that Lee Kendall hoists the Embassy World Crown? And certainly the pool gods, if they have anything to say about it. Mind you, having said that, that's not all that fortunate a break. What might look on the outset to be a bit lucky, that's made his life a little more difficult.
It's certainly done that. He had control of the game while that yellow was over the hole. I think it's about the last thing he wanted to flick. Oh, what a great shot. That's fantastic, isn't it? He's just proven he's not just a potter, Jim. He's promoted that yellow so that it goes off that red into the corner pocket and left the white in a situation where he's left Bill absolutely nothing.
Sandwiched that cue ball between yellow and black. It's all happening right now for the number 3 seed in this tournament.
"30 seconds remaining."
Will Lee have a go here? Yellow under the yellow. Gets this match will be all over, I think. Oh, white's travelling.
Dangerously close to the in-off. But he hit that one as sweet as a nut. Gonna have to call on the same sort of ability. He's gonna manufacture a pot from here. In fact, I'm not sure there's even anything on.
Playing off this yellow, maybe to promote the one closest to the hole over the hole. Just like that. Well, Bill's got to take the bull by the horns, I think, Jim. He's difficult here, but red may go up the top. If it does, he's got to pot it and go game, as I say. Australian term, go game as often as possible. Two's on up the top.
It looks like it goes, Mick.
30 seconds remaining.
Certainly, it's a do-or-die shot. The match virtually resting on whether or not this red goes in.
Off the red. Ooh. And one would suggest that's the end of it, I'd say.
Certainly the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Lee Kendall wants to put the nails in Bill Hoven's coffin right now.
Yellow into the corner, up under the yellow into the middle pocket. Follow through, down yellow down the cushion and straight shots on the yellow into the black. Would have liked to have gone a few more inches, I think. Playing so well though. Bad kiss. Still got the option of the yellow down, and if it misses, he's covering the hole. So I think he'd feel pretty confident. The way he's queuing, you'd expect him to pot it anyway, wouldn't you?
Well, we saw Bill Hoven knock a shot like this in. When you're 8-3 in front, that pocket probably looks a little bigger. What a tremendous pot from Lee
fantastic.
Kendall.
One has to feel a bit...
A touch of class.
Yeah, fantastic. But you have to feel a bit sorry for Bill here, because he hasn't played badly. It's just that Lee's played so well.
A resounding victory for Stoke-on-Trent's Lee Kendall. He advances to the semi-final where he'll oppose the world champion Greg Farron, and he did it by virtue of a 9-3 scoreline over Bill Hoven.
Well, Lee Kendall, fantastic stuff, a real command performance. You took the break at 5-3 and never really looked back.
Yeah, I had some good breaks, so to be fair, in the match, and that was the turning point in the match. The breaks I got, my balls always came out, and Bill kept getting off and couldn't make a ball on the break. Big difference.
Well, you've been in every championship since it began, and you've been getting to the semi-finals but never gone all the way. Could this be the year?
Hopefully this will be the year.
Right, well done, Lee Kendall. 2 more quarter-finals coming up later today, but for now on Sky Sports, stay with us. From me, Jonathan Green, until then, goodbye.